The tribunal chamber gleamed like a cathedral judgment, every wall lined with crystal spires humming with authority. 1,000 alien eyes fixed on the single human standing at the center, hands in his pockets, leaning casual, like he was about to order lunch instead of defend himself before galactic law. Arbiter's voice boomed, sharp enough to cut stone. Human, you are accused of false testimony. You claim your touch can stabilize the thermal surge of our people. Explain yourself before we condemn you. He raised an eyebrow. Touch? That's a clinical way of saying it. A translator bot crackled, struggling. He ignites her loins. Dead silence. Then chaos. Rows of robed aliens gasped in unison, half fainted where they sat. A scribe dropped his stylus like it was molten iron. A guard coughed and muttered, "By the stars, that's illegal." Narrator. There it is. One mistranslation. And suddenly it's space court meets space burlesque. The human spread his arms. Hey, back home we call that foreplay. Another wave of horrified gasps. A scholar shrieked. Foreplay? Is that a military strategy? No, the human smirked, but it wins every battle. The arbiter slammed his staff. Enough. Are you admitting to weaponized intimacy? He leaned back, completely unfazed. Weaponized? Lady, I'm just trying to keep her from overheating. Translator bot sputtered again. He says, I'm detonating her with heat stroke. Several aliens screamed. One fainted dramatically into the arms of 2 guards. Narrator. That's 3 faintings in under 2 minutes. New record. The arbiter's eyes narrowed to glowing slits. You mock us. Evidence must be shown. Evidence. He grinned. You want me to demonstrate? I usually charge for that. You will demonstrate. The arbiter snapped. Or be sentenced for fraud, deception, and potential erotic war crimes. He laughed. Erotic war crimes? Wow. That's one for the resume. The tribunal chamber buzzed with scandalized whispers. A dozen alien officials spoke over one another, some demanding proof, others demanding the human's immediate exile. One trembled, muttering, If it's true, no species is safe. That's when she stepped forward. The alien girl, slender frame, shimmering skin that almost disguised the heat roiling beneath. She was trying to look proud, defiant, but her flushed cheeks betrayed her, pulsing with light too bright to hide. I will volunteer, she declared, voice steady but faintly shaking. For the sake of truth. The chamber erupted. You cannot, shouted one counselor. She will combust, cried another. This is madness. Narrator. And there it is. The brave volunteer who thinks she's immune. Spoiler. She isn't. The human tilted his head, eyes raking her up and down with that lazy confidence only he could carry. You sure about this? I don't want to be responsible for you melting in public. Bad for my reputation. Her lips twitched. Do not flatter yourself. My systems can withstand any primitive gesture you offer. He chuckled. Primitive? Sweetheart, you haven't even seen my warm-up routine. The translator scrambled, trying to sanitize the line. He says, his ritual breathing exercise. The girl blinked, flustered. Breathing exercise? He winked. Something like that. Narrator. Somewhere in the back row, a monk just scribbled, Ritual breathing of the human. Dangerous. The arbiter pounded her staff. Order. The demonstration will proceed. Scholar teams, prepare readings. Guards, be ready to intervene if this becomes destabilizing. The human sighed, rolling his shoulders. Man, you people really make a big deal about holding hands. Murmurs swept the chamber. Holding hands? One scholar echoed, scandalized. If that's their weapon, we are defenseless. The alien girl stepped closer, her aura flickering like a neon light, fighting to stay alive. Her eyes darted everywhere but his face. Do it, human. If your claim is true, then prove it before the tribunal. He smiled slowly, infuriatingly, like he was already 3 steps ahead. All right, but don't say I didn't warn you. Some species can't handle my charm. A counselor shot up, trembling. Charm? Is that a toxin? Translator bot. Correction. Charm equals seductive chemical warfare. Pandemonium. Narrator. And boom, now he's a bioweapon. Someone get these people a dictionary. The human extended his hand, palm up, like he was offering nothing more sinister than a dance. Your move. The alien girl's fingers hesitated above his, trembling. She could feel it. The heat in her body spiraling, systems already buzzing near overload. Afraid, he teased. I fear nothing, she shot back. Least of all a mammal with reckless metaphors. He grinned wider. Careful. Those metaphors come with side effects. Narrator. Oh, yeah. Someone's about to need a fire extinguisher. The Arbiter glared. Enough delay. Take his hand. The tribunal will not wait all century. The girl inhaled sharply, then placed her hand in his. The room went dead silent. A pulse of heat shot through her immediately. Too fast. Too intense. Her disguise shimmered, glitches of her true form flickering like light behind cracked glass. She stiffened, lips parting in a breath she couldn't quite catch. The human leaned close, whispering with a smirk. See? Just a Tuesday for me. The tribunal exploded. Poets in the back row screamed about the dawn of forbidden fire. Guards panicked, weapons half raised, but too terrified to interfere. Scholars scribbled furiously, diagrams of human-induced resonance filling entire tablets. Narrator. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Chaos served hot, with a side of smug human. The Arbiter roared for silence, but her voice was drowned out by a dozen competing cries. He's destabilizing her system. No, he's stabilizing it. This is madness. This is science. The alien girl trembled, her voice betraying the slightest tremor. This is only the beginning. He smirked, still utterly calm. Beginning? Sweetheart, you haven't seen anything yet. Narrator. And boom. Curtain down on Act 1. Humans. Turns out we're the galaxy's most dangerous aphrodisiac. The chamber still buzzed like a hive after the hand-touched disaster. Aliens fanned themselves with official documents. One counsel was still unconscious, and somewhere in the back row, a poet wept into his sleeve. The Arbiter slammed her staff again. Silence. The demonstration is not concluded. Readings must be taken. Scholar teams report. A trembling scholar stood, clutching his data slate. And Madam Arbiter. The surge levels dropped instantly. The humans touch stabilized her core temperature by 47%. 1,000 voices erupted in disbelief. The human whistled. 47, huh? Guess I was holding back. Alien shrieked. He can amplify further? Contain him. The alien girl pulled her hand back, chest rising too fast, trying to mask the heat flushing through her. This proves nothing. He used some trick. He smirked. Trick? Lady, you're glowing like a Christmas tree. Translator bot mangled it. He says, you are exploding like a holiday detonation device. Immediate panic. Guards snapped their weapons up. No, no. The translator whined, overheating. Not explosion, not bomb. Decoration. The girl flushed harder. Her disguise flickered. Scales shimmering beneath. Faint light pulsing through her skin like fire under ice. Half the tribunal nearly fainted again. Narrator. And that, folks, is what we call an intergalactic wardrobe malfunction. The Arbiter leaned forward, eyes blazing. Human, you will prepare a controlled demonstration. This tribunal must see the extent of your power. He shrugged. Fine, but I usually dim the lights, put on some music. Music? A counselor gasped. A secondary weapon. He grinned. Depends on the playlist. The alien girl crossed her arms, trying to steady herself. You will not defeat me with playlists. He chuckled. Sweetheart, nobody survives my slow jams. The translator froze, gears screeching. He threatens prolonged jam torture? Every alien recoiled in horror. Narrator, congrats, machine. You just turned Marvin Gaye into a war crime. The Arbiter barked. Enough riddles. Proceed at once. The human rolled his shoulders, strolling closer to the girl. You ready? She narrowed her eyes. I am not some fragile vessel. My species has endured suns, storms, wars. You cannot undo me with casual contact. Undo you? He leaned in, voice dropping. Lady, I haven't even started to unwrap you. Her breath caught. The disguise flickered harder, her aura brightening until half the chamber shielded their eyes. Scholars scribbled madly. Note, secondary surge triggered by wordplay. Poets wailed. He seduces with syllables. The arbiter barked. Restrain your tongue, human. He smirked. That's the part you want restrained? Interesting priorities. The alien girl tried to scoff, but it came out shaky. Your arrogance is infuriating, and your pulse is racing. It is not. He tapped his own ear casually. Pretty sure half the room can hear humming. Indeed, the chamber buzzed faintly with the sound of her overheated systems. A counselor clutched their chest. This resonance, it is contagious. I feel in my bones. Another alien collapsed in the aisle, moaning, Too much human stamina. Narrator, ladies and gentlemen, we got sympathy fainting. This is no longer science. This is a music festival. The arbiter's face twitched between fury and panic. Scholar teams. More data. Record the fluctuations. A scientist stammered. And my readings indicate her disguise protocols are failing. If exposure continues, the entire chamber will witness her true form. Every eye turned to girl. She stiffened, shame and heat colliding across her face. He softened just a touch. Don't worry. I've got you. She blinked, thrown off. What? He reached out, fingers brushing her wrist again. The chamber went still. Instantly, her flickering stabilized, her glow softened, breath evening out. Gasps. Shock. A poet dropped to his knees. A miracle. A scientist burst into tears. Impossible. He balances her with casual tenderness. A guard screamed, Contain this menace. The girl's voice wavered. How do you do that? He leaned close, smirk in place but eyes steady. Call it practice. Back home, we just call this Tuesday. Half the tribunal fainted. Narrator, and down they go again. Honestly, they should install crash mats in here. The arbiter trembled, slamming her staff so hard it cracked the crystal floor. This borders on the obscene. Human, what have you done to her? He grinned. Calm her down. You're welcome. The alien girl pulled her wrist free, gasping as her systems hummed in newfound balance. She looked both furious and reluctant. This changes nothing. I remain in control. Sure you do, he teased. That's why your disguise keeps glitching like bad Wi-Fi. Fi, she repeated confused. Translator bot wailed. Untranslatable, and promptly overheated, falling over in a puff of smoke. Narrator, and the translator's dead. Rest in pieces. Brave little toaster. The arbiter barked. Prepare containment. The demonstration must escalate. The tribunal demands full proof. The chamber erupted in overlapping cries. No, too dangerous. We must know the limits. For science. For poetry. The girl clenched her fists, face burning. If proof is demanded, then I will endure it. The human tilted his head, lips curling slow. Endure, huh? Careful with that word. Makes it sound like fun. She glared, but her flush betrayed her. You will not break me, human. Oh, sweetheart, he drawled. I'm not here to break you. I'm here to balance you. Narrator. And somewhere in the galaxy, an HR department just spontaneously combusted. The tribunal chamber shook under the roar of voices, each counselor shouting over the next, demanding escalation, demanding proof. The arbiter staff cracked sparks against the floor. Silence. The tribunal decrees a demonstration shall proceed at maximum intensity. The human stretched his neck like he'd just been told to play another round of cards. Maximum intensity? Careful. You don't even know what my baseline is. Aliens hissed. Baseline? Is that a threat? He grinned. No, that's a promise. The alien girl stiffened, fists balled at her sides. You will not overwhelm me, human. He strolled closer, cocky, calm, utterly at ease. You sure? Because your disguise is already flickering like a dying light bulb. Her cheeks burned hotter. The glow pulsed across her skin, scales shimmering into view before she forced it back down. It is under control. Yeah. He tilted his head. Your voice is shaking. It is not. Your pupils are dilated. They are not. He leaned close, whispering just for her. Your breathing just skipped a beat. Her whole frame quivered. Narrator, and bingo. He's got her diagnostics running like a Windows 95 error screen. The Arbiter slammed her staff. Commence at once. Scholar teams, record every fluctuation. Guards, stand ready to intervene. The girl swallowed, then raised her chin. Very well. Do your worst. The human smirked. Sweetheart, my worst has its own fan club. She faltered. Fan club? He reached out, this time not for her hand, but brushing a strand of hair from her face. The contact was feather-light, casual, yet the effect hit her like a plasma blast. Her entire disguise glitched. Skin shimmered translucent, revealing a silhouette of burning light beneath. Gasps ripped through the chamber. Poets collapsed, scribbling furiously. He peels her illusions with a mere caress. Scientists screamed, impossible. This breaks 3 known laws of biology. Guard stepped forward, panicked. Contain him before he unravels her entirely. The girl staggered, clutching her chest. And no, I can endure. He steadied her, one arm slipping around her waist like it was nothing. Relax. You're just overheating. Happens all the time when I'm around. Alien shrieked. He admits it. It's deliberate. Narrator. And the crowd goes wild. Someone call in a galactic OSHA, because this is unsafe workplace exposure. Her breathing hitched, rapid, heavy, every inhale brighter than the last. The disguise fell away in bursts, her true form glowing with radiant heat. She tried to glare at him, but her voice shook. Why, you arrogant mammal. He grinned. Careful. Keep talking like that, and you'll sound like you're enjoying yourself. I am not, she snapped, voice breaking halfway. Sure you're not. His thumb brushed her wrist again, and she nearly buckled. The chamber thundered with outrage. One counselor screamed, He is dismantling her very being. Another cried, No, he is synchronizing her. A scientist burst into tears. This is beautiful. A guard fainted. Narrator, we've got another one down. If this keeps up, the cleanup crew's gonna need stretchers. The Arbiter staff blazed with fury. Enough! Stop this obscene. But then the girl moaned, soft but clear, and the chamber froze. Every alien stared in scandalized horror. The human leaned close, lips at her ear. You okay? Her cheeks burned so hot her aura flared white. Why, you monster? He chuckled low. Monster? Back home, I just called this Wednesday. Half the tribunal collapsed in their seats. Poets threw their papers into the air, weeping. Scholars shouted equations. Guards tried to drag each other out of the chamber. The Arbiter trembled with rage. Is this legal? He shrugged. On Earth? Only on weekends. Chaos detonated. Narrator. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The meltdown heard across galaxies. The girl, trembling in his arms, finally slumped against him, her glow stabilizing, her breathing even at last. She whispered, half defiant, half spent, I will not admit defeat. He smirked. Good. I like a challenge. The Arbiter screamed for silence, but the chamber was already in ruin. Poets praising, scientists sobbing, guards fainting, translators praying for reboot. And through it all, the human stood calm, steady, casual. One arm around a glowing alien girl, like this was nothing, like this was normal. Narrator. And that, folks, is a human legacy, unshaken, unbothered, casually dismantling galactic decorum with one smirk. The tribunal chamber looked like a battlefield of scandal. Scholars weeping into their tablets, poets rolling on the floor, guards fanning each other like fainting maidens. The Arbiter staff sparked against the fractured floor as she roared. Order! Order in this chamber. No one listened. One counselor sobbed into his robes. He balanced her with a touch. How can one species wield such obscene power? Another hissed. If they can do this to her, what chance do the rest of us have? The human still held the alien girl upright, steady as stone, smirk in place. You're all welcome, by the way. The arbiter glared daggers. Welcome? You have desecrated this tribunal with indecency. He grinned. Indecency? Lady, I haven't even kissed her. The chamber erupted like an exploding star. Half the aliens screamed. One fainted so hard his chair shattered. Narrator, that's 5 unconscious bodies. At this point, they need medics more than they need a verdict. The alien girl pulled herself upright, trembling, her glow flickering but no longer out of control. Her disguise limped back into place, shaky and incomplete. She avoided his eyes. This means nothing. It was a temporary anomaly. Sure, he said, voice lazy. Temporary anomalies don't cling to me like you're doing right now. She flinched, jerking away from his arm like it burned, but the heat on her face betrayed her. I was merely regaining balance. He winked. You're welcome again. A scientist shot up, voice cracking. The data is conclusive. The human stabilizes volatile energy surges through sustained contact. No machine, no ritual, no formula has ever replicated this effect. A poet tore his robe dramatically. We must quarantine them, or marry them. There is no middle ground. The arbiter slammed her staff, so hard the crystal walls shook. Enough. We will render a verdict. The chamber stilled, but only barely. Aliens trembling, muttering, clutching their pearls. The arbiter's voice shook with fury. Humans are hereby declared romantically dangerous. Gasps. A counselor shrieked. Dangerous? That is too mild. Another countered. No. Too harsh. We must study them further. The arbiter's glare cut them all down. No. This tribunal decrees. Humans are unstoppable, insatiable, romantically lethal. The human laughed, loud and shameless. Romantically lethal? Damn. That's going on my business card. Narrator. Somewhere in the galaxy, a dating app just overloaded. The alien girl's hand shook as she tried to compose herself. This tribunal, this verdict, it is absurd. He leaned closer, voice low enough only she heard. See you tonight? Her face flared crimson. Why, you presumptuous creature. Not a no. She sputtered, trembling. You will regret this. He smirked, leaning back, casual as ever. Back home, we call it a rain check. The arbiter slammed her staff again, but her voice cracked with barely contained panic. Remove him from the chamber before he destabilizes the entire court. Guards approached cautiously, like they were about to handle an arm bomb. One whispered, "What if he touches us?" and nearly dropped his weapon. The human raised his hands in mock surrender. Relax. I don't bite, unless you ask nicely. 3 guards fainted instantly. Narrator. And there it is, the final body count. The human wins by TKO. The alien girl turned sharply, trying to stride away, but her balance wobbled for half a step. He noticed, of course, smirk never fading. Careful. Wouldn't want you burning out before tonight. She froze, shoulders stiff, and then stormed off in a blur of light, muttering curses in a language half the translators didn't dare repeat. The arbiter raised her staff one final time, voice shaking with outrage. This tribunal is adjourned. Humanity shall be monitored closely. Their kind must never be underestimated again. The human strolled toward the exit, hands in his pockets, whistling like it was a Sunday walk in the park. A poet hurled a scroll after him. Monster. He caught it mid-air, twirling it between his fingers. Thanks. I'll hang this on my fridge. Narrator. And that's the story, folks. One man, one touch, and an entire interstellar tribunal now needs therapy. Verdict? Humanity. Certified universal hazard. Grade a seductive threat.